Hello and welcome back to my channel. Personally, I love the feeling when it's raining outside and it's just dark and you can just curl up with a good book all day. So today I thought I'd share with you some of my favorite reads that I think are perfect to curl up in a ball and read when it is raining outside. These are my rainy day book recommendations. Starting off with some YA options. This first book is very fast-paced, and that is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This book and the sequel, The Hawthorne Legacy, the third book is coming in a few months, are just very quick and easy reads. Following 16-year-old Avery after she inherits a $46.2 billion estate from a man she never met in her life. It is crazy because she has to go live in his house for, I think, a year before she can inherit the money. And of course, he has family and relatives that he disinherited to give his entire estate to Avery. And the family still lives in the house. So she has to coexist with these people who hate her and think that she stole their fortune. But there's also so many riddles and puzzles that go on in here, and things that were briefly mentioned in like chapter 1 will play a big role in like the end, and it's just, it makes you think. There's also a love triangle in this book, so if you're into that, here you have it. I am really excited for the third book to come out because this was a very good read. The next book I think is perfect for a rainy day is Anatomy by Dana Schwartz. This book follows Hazel, who's living in like Victorian era Scotland, and she wants to be a surgeon. Obviously she is a woman, so she can't do that. She ends up striking this deal with the professor of anatomy at the local college, so that if she can pass the anatomy exam at the end of the quarter without attending any of the classes, because he won't allow her to attend, then he will give her certificate or whatever and say that she's a surgeon. She ends up forming another deal with a grave robber who steals bodies for her to cut open and study. Now, as you can see, it says a love story, so she ends up falling in love with the grave robber. It is not the best and a most amazing love story I've ever read, but it is cute. And I think that the ending is amazing. This book kind of gives off Frankenstein vibes, so it's really kind of creepy and perfect for that rainy day. Next, we have a murder mystery. Personally, my favorite murder mystery I've read. Haven't read a lot, but this one was great, and that is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. There are 3 books in this series, and they are amazing. This book follows Pip, who is a teen detective. Don't we love that? And Pip is using a closed case of a murdered / missing teenager from 5 years prior in her town. And she's studying this case for her senior project, and her angle on it is to try and prove that the person that is thought guilty of the crimes is innocent. Of course, she's not going out and telling people that, because why would she? Nobody would listen to her. But through the course of the book, she tries to prove him innocent, and in the end, she finds out if he actually did it or not. And when I tell you, this has one of the best plot twists ever. It has a double whammy at the end. In the first plot twist, you're like, oh, I could kind of see that, I got it. But the second plot twist is out of nowhere, and you would never see it coming. And if you did see it coming, I don't believe you, because it is insane. I think this whole series is amazing, and I can't wait to see what else Holly Jackson writes. Staying with creepy tones, this is a book I devoured in one sitting, and I think it'd be perfect to just stay inside and read all day. And that is Verity by Colleen Hoover. This book is insane. It is a psychological thriller, and you think you know what's going on, and then the last 50 pages hit you and you're like, and then you know nothing. I still don't know what happened in this book. And that sounds crazy, but I don't know what happened. I don't. Verity follows a freelance writer, Lowen, who is hired to finish out the very famous and popular series written by Verity Crawford after she has an accident that leaves her pretty much paralyzed. And Lowen ends up going to live at Verity's house to kind of go through her office and try and figure out what she was planning on doing with the series in order to continue it and wrap it up and finish it. So Lowen ends up finding this unpublished manuscript of a kind of memoir on Verity's life, and she starts reading it, and the things in there are insane. And she kind of goes back and forth whether she should tell Verity's husband about it, because the things in there in the manuscript could get Jeremy to become closer to her, and she's kind of has a little crush on him, so it's a very moral dilemma. And that's all I'll say. When I tell you this book is insane, also check trigger warnings because it is insane. But Verity by Colleen Hoover will have your mind puzzled. Like, I don't even understand what happened in it, and I read it. The last book I think is perfect for a rainy day is one of Book Talk's holy books, and that is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This book serves the vibes. It does take a second to get into because at the beginning you're not with Evelyn Hugo and it's a little jarring at first when you think you know what this book is, and then you start and you're in a like news office with a woman named Monique and you're like, huh? But trust me, once you get into it, you will fly through this book. It is a masterpiece. So Evelyn Hugo is this really big movie star from the 50s, and she's telling her life's story to a news reporter who she handpicked, and you don't know why. Let me tell you, Evelyn Hugo, I want to be her. Like, she is an icon. She is the moment. And her life story is insane. This book is broken down into 7 sections for her 7 husbands, because she was married 7 times. Go Queen. And the big hook of this book is that Evelyn Hugo actually is connected to the reporter she chose to write her life story. And when you get to that part, it is insane and you're like, what? This is definitely one of the funnest books on the list. It's still sad. I cried a little at the end. Most people don't cry, at least they don't talk about crying, but there is a part I cried at the end. But overall, it was a fun book and I love Evelyn Hugo. Also check trigger warnings for this one as well. But yes, I think all of these are amazing to sit back, curl up, and listen to the raindrops. I thoroughly enjoyed all of these books and I hope that you like them too. If you do end up reading any of these books, please let me know if you like them. They are pretty popular books, so I wouldn't be surprised if you already have read them, but I do think that they are the perfect books for a rainy day in. That is all I have for you today. I hope these recommendations helped you out and I hope to see you next time. Bye.